Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 7 of Path of Exile 2. Almost a full week of Path of Exile 2 gaming has commenced, and we are in Act 1 once again, but not as a dejected loser. This time, we have triumphantly arrived in Act 1 as cruel gamers. We are solo, self-found, hardcore, cruel gaming in Path of Exile 2. It feels great. The campaign experience was awesome. Before we get into too much of what we're doing now with this character, let's recap how yesterday went, how we got here. We started yesterday in Act 3 after dying 2 days ago now on our warrior during our second ascendancy. And this is essentially the last boss that we fought on the warrior. So this is the first new boss in Act 3 that I've fought or encountered, and let's see how it goes. And I've kind of skipped the ascending. Like last time when I was here, I was doing the ascendancy, and I'm just kind of skipping that. And I still haven't done it. We'll get into that a little bit more, but I'm not overly compelled. Like regardless of the difficulty, I'm not overly compelled to ascend anyway. But we'll get into that anyway. So this is the first time fighting this. Yeah, bro. Fighting this whatever this boss is in the mechanism place. Looks so cool, man. Like these bosses all are just so visually ripping. And we very quickly have a theme encountering some of these bosses. Well, first off, this ability just just face tank it. I did not realize throughout the entirety of the fight what was going on with that mechanic, and so I'm pretty sure I get hit by it every single time. But now, having watched back the footage once, I realized that you need to do some trigonometry and just stand like in the corner of the triangle that it puts on the ground. But I totally failed that mechanic throughout the course of this fight. Everything else I'm just face tanking. It's pretty easy. I don't feel, and I'm not even that over leveled. Like I think I'm like 2 levels over the zone at this point. Okay. I run into it there, like whatever, bro. Just face take it.
How do you see what direction that's moving?
So yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident. It does feel like the game is kind of progressively getting easier as we're getting kind of stronger and stronger. Items are dropping with more resistance and life and armor on that stuff, which does feel like it's making the game a little bit less threatening compared to even Act 1, when it felt like every boss fight was incredibly rippy. Like this does not feel too rippy, and so I'm kind of chilling. Like the anxiety isn't too high during this fight. Other than that mechanic, it's just kind of annoying me that I can't figure it out. So yeah. Anyway, dead boss. Pretty
mechanic, bro. Okay.
Pretty easy, and that was this last. I think there was like for some reason my stream skipped out, so whatever. We're starting this. And okay, so we did the boss. It like unlocked a new zone. So we're in like the new waterway zone now. And dude, like all of these zones are so cool. Like in this zone.
What's happening?
Oh, gotta shut that audio off. So like in this zone, like you have to pull levers, and the levers will unlock certain canal things where like the water will go down, and then you could traverse over where the water was, and all these mobs like pop out from the river. It's super cool, and it's super well done, and it did not feel like overly. It was pretty linear. Like I felt like I was moving forward in a positive direction the entire time. I didn't feel like I had to do that much backing. So really cool zone. It did feel like this zone was missing something, and I think we'll get to it, where it's like by the end here, like I thought this was like a boss arena, and I was mentally preparing myself for a boss, but I guess there just wasn't a boss. And we just kind of go up here and pull the lever. So I kind of think they were supposed to implement a boss, and like there probably will be a boss in the actual game, but it's like yeah, but it's like closed access. They probably just didn't have it ready in time or something like that. So I am expecting a boss there in the actual game itself. So again, this is cool. Like you pull a lever, you unlock more of the zone. So yeah, that was pretty poggy. again, just like really visually appealing, really cool. Like I really thought this campaign and this Act 3 was enjoyable. I did not enjoy this zone. This zone, they had these like, well, they had these like little side areas that were cool. You see, but next to the checkpoints, they had little treasure areas that were fun to go through. But if you see these water things, so in PoE 1, one of the pinnacle bosses was the Eater of Worlds, and he had this mechanic where he puts these little water balls all over the screen, and they kill you essentially if you just stand in them for a certain period of time. And they're really rippy. I did really always hate the panic. And now in this game, you see like this little hag monster over here, this green little hag at the top of my screen, river hag, is just like casting them as an ability. And you see they're just like all over the screen. So the gameplay is just like, you have to like kill the hag, and I do no damage still. Like it's really rough. It's really rough out here. So I was kind of, honestly, this is miserable. Like the gameplay was really brutal, and I'm not really enjoying the character right now. We're a little bit on the struggle bus as far as everything is concerned. This zone leads to this zone though, and dude, this was so cool. Like this magma zone. You're crossing a bridge. It's like the Bridge of Khazad-dûm. Lord of the Rings. Like it's, dude, this is badass. Like the aesthetics are so cool, and it's so different from the other zones. So it's a nice, you get like the refreshing palette experience. Like really, really awesome. And like I can already tell this is going to be a really cool. Like I'm looking forward to the map version of this already because I really like this like tile set. Like you do something up here with like the lava. You like pull a lever. It's awesome, man. Like I thought they did a really good job with this stuff.
This is cool, man.
Like I was really good job. And so anyway, we go through the zone. We're chilling. And then
It's way cool, man.
well, I'll show you. So this is a little bit this is foreshadowing. I do no damage. You can see I'm trying to kill this rare on the top of the screen here. It's right over here. It's not dying. We're just casting our abilities, trying to kill it. It's like it's okay. A little rough to the damage department, which becomes a little bit of an issue here. So we get to the end of the zone, cross another bridge thing, and it's like, oh hey, there's a boss down there. That's pretty cool. You pull down the lever thing. Some lava comes down. And at this point, I'm max fire res. I think I've got like 900 armor. I've got a good amount of armor. So I'm feeling pretty good. Like I'm not scared. Like I'm feeling like I'm not gonna die, but I am scared of my damage. I know I do not do a lot of damage, but I also know I'm very tanky. So I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm down. Put me in, coach. And you guys might be able to predict what happens here. But anyway, I'm like trying to do the combo. So in my head, my rotation is like, you put the storm, whatever that ability is called, the storm ball on the ground. You cast your iced Nova thing, and then you curse the mob, and then you hold down right click for arc. Like that's the idea. You put all those things down on the floor. You just rotate between those abilities. You try to do as much damage as possible. I don't do a great job of like maintaining like the perfect rotation, and I definitely probably spam arc like way too much in this gameplay. But I'm like really locked in, trying to maximize DPS. Like I'm really trying to game right here. And there's just like these wave mechanics. It just doesn't do any damage to me. I think I just soak in them. I like roll in it. I'm just immune to fire damage at 76% fire res. So like I'm kind of chilling, but again, I'm scared that I'm not doing any damage. So we try to pop off. There is a moment in this fight that gets incredibly scary, and at the time I don't even realize how close, but I was incredibly close to dying. And if I didn't have 76% fire res and only had 75% fire res, 100% I'm dead. In this fight, if I by something that happens pretty close here, I think. So we're gaming, just trying to. I kind of screw up the rotation, but it's kind of hard to hit him when he's in the lava. Like it's hard to concentrate on all that stuff. I'm really trying though. I'm really trying to concentrate on gaming, on max CPS. Okay, so you see these spikes on the ground? So pay attention.
Whoa.
Yeah, they explode. You can make the spikes explode, and they'll deal a lot of damage to our character. And it's something to keep track of in the fight. Are these huge spikes on the ground? But I kind of get distracted later on. So anyway, we're just we're trying to do damage to the boss, right? We're trying to kill the boss.
I'm doing as much damage as I can.
Yeah, we're trying so hard to do damage. Okay, so you see where my character is? You see, I was just talking about how like you should avoid the spikes. I'm just chilling next to like 5 of these spikes, just not really registering that they're on my screen. I am just locked in trying to deal damage to this boss right now. Bro, 75 life. 75 life. Like, it is so miraculous that I survived there, and I do not realize how close I was to dying. Like 75 life, and I think I probably even go lower. Like this is probably after a tick of regen, so it's probably even less than that. And bro, if I die, it's minus 1 day, right? This character has like for sure over 30 hours played at this point, so it's just minus 1 day if I die at that point. And so yeah, I'm just like not paying attention to what was on my screen, trying to deal damage to the boss, get absolutely punished, but we're just able to barely tank it. I mean, oh my god, I can't believe I was that close to dying. So luckily we didn't die, and I'm like, fuck, dude. And like, if I knew I got to like 70, I would probably be out of the game at this point. Like I probably should have like respawned to checkpoint by now, but I really did not register how close I was to dying, until I watched back the footage. I mean, that was crazy. But I do end up using pretty much all my life flasks because I took all that damage, and I'm at like no life flasks now, and I just don't really want to push it. Like, I might be able to kill the boss at this point in my head, but I'm like, all right, like I don't want to. I'm pretty sketched out.
Should try this again.
Like, but I'm feeling confident. Like, I feel like I could do this fight. So anyway, I just go right back in. We spawn checkpoint, we go right back in, and I'll make you guys suffer through it. You could probably tell that, but it's like we're fine. Yeah, we don't get. Bro. We don't stand next to those big spikes anymore.
Dude, I'm at the end.
We're trying to do our combo, and then look, we get to the end of the arena. Like, the arena just stops, and it's like an enraged timer, and I just fail the DPS check, and it's like not clear to me that this build can do this boss.
Bro, I'm at the end of the arena, bro.
You see the lava filling out. I can't go any further. I'm just stuck. This is hardcore, man. Like, so I'm like, fuck that. I'm out. But I'm also just so perplexed. I'm like, what?
Do I just not have the damage, bro?
Yeah, I'm just.
Do I literally just damage checked?
Bro, I'm getting filtered by these mobs because I don't have enough damage.
There's no damage?
So I'm just like sitting here
Damage?
looking at my tree, just being like, bro, like I can't kill this boss. Like, it's actually a problem. So yeah, I spend the next few hours really like trying to figure this out. Or no, not I go for round 3 like really soon here, because what I do is like, okay, so I was trying to go for some life and survivability stuff at the bottom of the tree, like all these nodes down here. You see, I was getting some of the life stuff. I was like, okay, like I'll just unspec here. And the only damage that I could see that was near me is this like lightning pen stuff up here. So like, okay, I'll respec out of some of the light stuff, and maybe if I get this lightning pen, I'll be doing a lot more damage, and I can actually kill the boss, and it'll feel good. So that's what I do. I just unspec all this other stuff. Luckily, I have enough gold to just go to the hooded guy, which is a great change, by the way. I mean, I would not be able to do this in PoE 1. If this was PoE 1, I would just have completely bricked my character. Like game over, essentially. So it's actually really nice. So that's a huge change. Shout out GGG. That's a great change. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I would really be screwed if this was the first PoE. So really cool change that we're immediately taking advantage of. So okay, surely once I get this lightning pen, I'm going to be able to kill the boss, right? So I get the lightning pen. Yeah, whatever we're gaming, lock in.
Split lightning pen. Please game.
Blow up boss. Surely boss. You can kill boss. So like, all right, I can't really tell if I'm doing more damage. Yeah, we'll see. We just gotta play it out. You know, the boss is doing its thing. You know, we're trying our best. We're locking in. We're so focused. Like, I'm trying so hard to do max damage here. I'm really locked in, just gaming. And then, bro, like we get to the end.
Like, legitimately having damage issues, like.
And I'm like soft locked, dude. I'm legitimately soft locked versus boss, and I'm so sad. I'm so defeated. I'm so defeated. I'm like, damn, I suck. Damn, I can't even kill a boss, bro. Yeah, I'm like, I rip off the shirt, bro.
In fact, we do no damage.
Yo, I need a. And so, I was just trying to fix things. And I spend the next few, hours here, like really trying to, you know, figure out what it is wrong with my build that I can actually kill this boss. What I end up doing, and you'll be able to see some of this gameplay. I think I just turned my brain off and just started farming the zone for a minute. And I came to the conclusion that arc sucks. I wanted nothing to do with his arc ability. And I'm like, all right, I'll try Spark out. Like if you're a PoE1 gamer, you know Spark is, you know, just traditionally as good as Arc. Spark's probably better. And I also knew there was this interaction with Spark where you can like cast a flame wall, have your little spark projectiles go through it, and you get like more damage. So I'm like, all right, like I'm so miserable at this point. I'm like, I'm down to try out anything. So I just, you didn't see my face. I'm just sad. I'm like, all right, we'll try this shit out. Like, you know, maybe this will work. And it's like, okay, like that's a gameplay. Those are like all the spark projectiles on my screen. You see me just putting these spark projectiles down on the ground. It's like, okay, things are dying. Yeah, we're grinding a bit. Let's see, we get to like a bigger pack and it's like, okay, like I'm actually kind of enjoying this gameplay. It's kind of cool. Like this feels like PoE, like this feels like PoE1 gameplay. Like you see the top of my screen here. It's like, okay, just hold down right click, like get a bunch of my combos off. You know, things are dying. I'm like, okay, like this feels good. Like this feels better than Arc. Like this is progress. So I, you know, this is like 2 hours ago. You know, I farmed this for a minute, like, and this is feeling good. So I'm feeling good about my character again after just being really sad for a while. So I'm enjoying the farm, clearing the map a bunch, getting some power, and then boom. All right, round 3 or round 4, I guess. Can we come back to the boss and actually kill it? The answer is yes, we do. But spoiler. So you can see we're Spark gameplay now. We got rid of that trash Arc ability. Like Arc sucks, man. Like why did they just put an ability in the game that just sucks? Like what? Like why does Arc? Anyway. So anyway, we're gaming. Spark gaming. Yeah, we're just putting down our it's literally the same thing, but we're now just instead of spamming Arc, we're spamming Spark, and we're casting like Flame Wall now. That's the only change we made. That was it. And we're doing
That's right, dude.
like a lot more damage. You know, I can't really die to this guy, so
Hard to do as much damage as possible.
we're locked in. And we get to the end here, but it's fine. We get to the end and we can kill it. We have enough time. Like we actually did it. I felt good. So this is like, you know, like you have to understand. I ran into this boss like 2 hours ago. We fought this boss for the first time like right around here. Failed, and I had to like go into some like, you know, hyperbolic time chamber, like remake my character, like accumulate a bunch more power, and then come back 2 hours later, and then after all that, you know, journey, we were actually able to kill the boss, and it felt really good. It felt really good to be able to kill this boss. That was awesome. Like that was a good gameplay experience. Realizing that my build was shit, like having to make it again, like optimizing things a bit more, squeezing out every kind of damage that I can, and overcoming that challenge. That felt good. That was a good PoE 2 gaming moment. And shout out to the devs. Like that was a really cool boss. Really enjoyed that. So anyway, one of the things that I've been trying to upgrade my wand this entire playthrough. Like this entire playthrough, I'm using absolute trash can wands, and every chance I'm using my gold to gamble for better wands. I'm checking the vendors religiously every level, and there's just absolute dog tier wands. So here I am, like I have some gold after my farm session, and I'm gambling wands with Alva, blah 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 blah, and then like actually sick wand. Like you don't understand how good this felt. I've been trying so hard to get a wand, and finally after like 30 hours I finally got a good weapon on this character, and it felt so good. And boy, do I tell you, we make this the most GG wand in solo self-found hardcore game. The things I do to this wand are dirty. Also, I'll show it off afterwards. But we end up crafting some just absolutely disgusting mods on this thing. So I'm pumped. Like we finally got a really dope weapon. So after just being miserable, like weren't able to kill bosses, we remade our character, unlocked a new build, leveled up with a new wand. And I'm feeling great. Like we overcame a lot, and I'm feeling awesome right now. So gaming. Let's see this one. Actually, we get to the next zone. So the next zone's like this apex of filth thing. It was fine. The chaos damage is a little scary. But we're gaming, and I have that. I'm rocking like 20 chaos res at this point, just flat.
Those look like little Dorianis, I guess.
So we're chilling. Just trying to get to the next. Skipping ahead. Next boss is here. 3. Nope. There we go. Nope. I guess I just don't have the footage of the boss. What is that? Anyway, the boss is like this. What the heck is it? Oh, here we go. All right, sorry about that. This Queen of Filth thing, it was pretty easy. It put some things on the ground, specifically the elemental weakness curse and this red thing, which is a vulnerability curse. The only way I could die in this fight is if I stand on this like vulnerability curse and I get hit with a slam, or I stand on some elemental weakness curse and I get hit by some like elemental ability. But it wasn't clear to me that this boss was doing a lot of elemental damage, so as pretty much as long as I stayed away from the red stuff on the ground, didn't get hit by a slam simultaneously, I was chilling. So I didn't feel that threat in this fight, and this is like after all my upgrades, so I'm feeling pretty good about my damage, and bosses dying on my screen. This wasn't too bad, and I think I put on another additional chaos res ring at this point too, so I had a little bit more chaos res. So I'm rocking like 27 chaos res. Chilling. Not a whole lot going on here, so.
Kill.
Still pretty good, just like bossing now after all the upgrades, like, and kind of having a good time again. It like feels good. Like feels good to be back, like making progress, killing bosses. So then we get to like this temple area. I mean, this temple is really cool. It has that like sun in the middle, and if you see the debuff here, I'm taking like passive fire damage over time because there's a sun in the middle of the map, and I have to like hide from it under these walls. It's pretty cool. I'm the biggest fan of this layout. I got stuck in some corners, like had to log on some of these fights, in here. But anyway, we get to the top of the temple thing. And we fight the boss. I'm at this point. I'm also thinking that this is the Act 3 boss because, like, thematically, the Act 1 boss was like the cold boss. The Act 2 boss was the lightning boss. And I'm thinking, okay, the Act 3 boss is the fire boss. And I have, you know, 76% fire res at the time, so I'm not that scared of this boss going into it. So kind of gaming. Locked in. I think my damage is pretty good. That's a cool ability. Like you can't really see it on the screen. But he puts all these like small fireballs over his head, and then he summons them. It's pretty interesting. He has these like black hole things that he fires out. If you get near them, they'll suck you in. But you know, they were not that threatening. He does this eruption thing too, where he like slams on you. He like goes to you and slams or explodes. Didn't seem to do any damage. So yeah, I don't know. I just kind of face tanked everything this boss did and killed him. It was not that high intensity. And I actually, you'll see my reaction after the end of the fight, which is like, oh, he has one cool thing, which is the Searing of Exarch ability back in PoE1, where he has these balls fly over your screen and you have to like avoid the balls. But I end up like tanking one that they don't do like any damage. So I thought this boss was very underpowered, actually. Like this boss was a little bit almost like, dare I say, too easy, especially relative to some of the other content. So kind of interesting. Yeah, kill the boss. I'm like, I honestly think there's supposed to be a phase 2. I'm like ready for a phase 2, and I'm like, wait, dead? Really?
Really? That was it?
Yeah. So I actually thought that was that could have been a bit more exciting. So anyway, we kill the boss, unlock the new era thing. Yeah, we go through the story elements. So we're in these new zones. Wait, I think before that, yeah, and so I know there's like this Viper boss battle over here, so
Think I can like.
I'm like really scared. I'm really stressed out of bosses at this point. But anyway, we go in and I'm like, fuck it, whatever, we'll do the boss. And I know this boss is in PoE1, but in like the Legion stuff. And so I know, I mean, it's called a Viper, like obviously it does chaos damage. And chaos damage is just so scary, so I'm trying my best to have as much chaos res as possible, but the most chaos res I can have, just with all the gear that dropped and all the gear available to me, is 27, and there's just no other options for me to get more chaos res. So, you know, I'm at my highest possible chaos res for this fight, and I'm pretty scared. You know, start damage checking some of this stuff though, and it's fine. So starting to build some confidence in the fight. You see soldiers doing things in the back. All right, like, okay, avoid things on the ground. Sure. Gaming, I can do that. All right, avoid some other things on the ground. I did get hit there, but you can see it didn't do too much damage. So okay, I'm kind of like, okay, this feels fine. Then she says this thing, Erekali's web, and then you see these soldiers start doing things. This is probably the most dangerous mechanic throughout the fight, where, yeah, you see them like move in like that. That was spooky. And I'm not even sure like how you're really supposed to avoid like the cascade, other than just, I think you can roll through it and you end up not taking damage. So anyway, that becomes a theme of this fight. But you know, I get to this point here and my game just freezes. My game freezes and I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out, man. Like there's nothing happening on my screen. I can't even exit the character select. So I'm like, all right, I'll log out. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I lost my character. But we log back in and it's fine. I was terrified. I would have felt so shitty to die to a DC there. But we're back. And we try again. You know, same kind of fight. You know, the Viper stuff is rippy, but you know, we just try to dodge. We do our best to dodge roll it. We tank some, but it's fine. We can just tank some of it, I guess. You know, we get close to the end here, and then you'll see I just kind of like run out of mana. I don't have any flash charges. The arena is kind of closing on me. And yeah, I have no flash charges. I have no life or mana charges at this point. And I know it's a dead boss, and like I could greed it out and try to go for the kill, but I really don't want to lose my character. Like I don't want to take a risk like that. And so, you know, I do the kind of lame option of just I log out. Which is like, you know, GGG put it in the game, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, if I can go again and not die, I'll do that. So I didn't want to risk it there, and I probably could have killed the boss. So I just reset, and yeah, I'm confident I can kill it if I just do well. So I almost I almost died there. Yeah, I bitch out again. So you can see I got spooked by the Aracali attack again. Like the soldiers doing that. I got pretty spooked. And I'm like, oh, fuck that, bro. I don't want to die. So I had no life charges anyway. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. We go again. I just go right back in, I think. Yeah, we just go right back in and kill the boss.
Let's go, bro.
This sounds scary, dude. This is a scary fight. We're locking in. And we get the execute. Yeah, boom. And you know, they have these ads at the end that pop up. But you know, we kill them. Yeah, it feels good, man. That felt good. That was scary.
Oh my god, bro.
That was a really scary fight. So moving on to the next zone that we unlocked, which is like the spooky this like festival area that turns into like a sacrifice thing. Just, I mean, look how beautiful these zones are. I mean, the art and everything, even the mobs are so colorful. I mean, it's so awesome, man. Like every single zone they've just knocked out of the park. I mean, I don't think there's been one dud. There hasn't been one. I mean, some of the mob types have been duds, but just from an aesthetic point of view, everything just looks so awesome, man. So it's a dope zone. We go through it. I think there's like, you know, blah, blah. And like, look, there's like dead bodies all over here. Like, it's so cool, man. It's so cool. It's like, you know, right out of Apocalypto. You know, Mel Gibson would be proud. So I was a huge sucker for the aesthetics. I really enjoyed just, you know, making our way through, exploring the zone.
I feel so much stronger now.
And then you get in here, which is like another really cool zone. So this is the zone, which is, you know, the last zone in Act 3. It's like this like laboratory, like this rock laboratory thing with these like really disgusting cadaver body interactions that are like, you know, the pots and you know, chests in this map. Like you see all the dead, like it's so cool, man. So freaking cool. So anyway, we go through our zone, we do all like the little like soul core puzzles thing. And okay. Boss time. So I'm pretty confident this is the final boss. I'm like, all right, Act 3, final boss, lock the fuck in, Doriani. And this is after, you know, I popped off on some of my wand upgrades. So you know, I made my wand huge at this point. I'm feeling like my damage is finally good. I'm feeling pretty tanky. Like, let's go. Let's beat the campaign. So I immediately like log out because I realize he's doing fire damage.
I saw fire. Lightning.
And I knew he was going to do lightning damage, but I didn't know he was going to do fire damage. I wasn't max fire res. So I just quickly respawn a checkpoint. So I put on a fire res ring so I can max out, you know, fire and lightning res. It was ethical. That's hardcore gaming, dude. If you're not logging out to put on resist rings so that you're max res on the boss fights, you're not even hardcore Path of Exile 2 gaming, frankly. So, log in, kill the boss. Again, I don't, like, it's hard for me to judge. Like, I don't know how much damage everybody else is doing. Like, I'm assuming softcore builds are just popping off and just, you know, like, instantly killing these bosses. But I'm feeling pretty good about our damage. And my biggest concern is just mana. Like, I'm just concerned about running out of mana and, like, having to auto attack down bosses. But I know as long as I can have mana, I'm good. There's some mechanics going on. There's this things rotating in the middle of your screen, but you know, just doing our thing, face tanking most things. Like nothing's really doing much damage, so I'm feeling good. Okay, so we like phase him. Yeah, he goes like all Dr. Robotnik. You know, puts together his little device. I'm a little bit scared of this because I kind of see he does a kind of builds. He does a slam here with this little chopping arm thing that he has, and the animation looks like it's cold damage. I'm not sure. You'll see in one of the slams here. It looks like it does some kind of cold thing, and I'm a little bit terrified of that because the one was, yeah, see, he's doing some kind of cold thing, which yeah, the cold slam right here. So I have like 30 cold res, so I'm kind of terrified of the cold thing. So that adds a little bit of element of anxiety to this fight that didn't exist in the first phase. So I actually am feeling like I can die in this phase. And I do not want to damage check it. Like I do not want to get anywhere close to that cold ability. So, you know, there's this like flame thing up top. I don't know. I'm kind of ignoring a lot of what's happening on our screen, just trying to focus on dealing as much damage as possible. And yeah, like halfway through this phase, we like we out. And I'm kind of terrified that we actually just can't kill the boss. We do have the mod on our mana flask that passively regains charges over time, but it's really slow. You know, it's like 0.2 charges every second. So yeah, we get hit by this. Whatever, just take it, bro. Yeah, so this gets really slow because I just completely run out of mana. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to frost bomb when it's available and spark. It's really slow going, but I also just can't die. So gaming, you know, this is hardcore Path of Exile boss killing at its finest.
This is so cringe. I have no mana.
You know, I've had no idea what this boss does. You know, going in completely blind.
This is so cringe, man. This is so cringe. I have no mana.
The boss is doing things and we have no mana. It's kind of terrifying. Dodge that one.
I have no mana. I have no mana. This is so cringe, bro.
And the cool thing about this build is like I have an execute, so I just need to get him down like 5% more and I can just execute him with the lightning warp ability, and he's dying, so yeah, we're getting there. Lock in, lock in, lock in.
I have no mana. Oh my god, I can hit that.
Yeah, there we go. All right, Act 3 demolished. We are now Path of Exile 2 solo self-found hardcore cruel gaming. Yeah, so we go through the story stuff there, and
no mana.
yeah, we make it through, you know, the Act 1 cruel area, and this is what we're rocking with. So, you know, 1200 life, pretty good resistances across the board. You know, I can maximize those resistances by swapping in and out rings, but I think just walking around, I'm pretty comfortable with these reses at. I know I screwed up yesterday with showing my items, so I'll just move this here so you can actually see the items. And we'll just quickly kind of go over just some of the items that I have. This is the big thing. So all of these stats. So I started off with, if you remember in the clip, the Alva clip, I just started off with spell damage and lightning spells. I then regaled it. The regal, I got 20%. I totally bricked. I just got reduced attribute requirements. But then I was like, fuck it. You know, the 2 mods of spell damage and the +2 lightning spells are good enough. And I literally had no other wands the entire playthrough, where I'm just like, I'm down to just like YOLO exalt. And I think I YOLO exalted increased lightning damage. So then I had spell damage, lightning damage, like lightning spell skills, and I was pogging out. I was like, oh shit, this wand is insane. And then I exalted again, and then I got, you know, gain 18% of damage as extra cold damage. Okay, like free cold damage. And I have like things that actually matters about that, because I'll show you on the tree, but like, so that's sick. Like sick. Like I was pumped about that. I was all right, I still have an open suffix. I'll slam it again. Then I got 17% cast speed. Huge. And traditionally, like Spark, like the most thing that the thing that matters most with Spark DPS is just cast speed. So we ended up with just a huge freaking wand here, and this is like probably the best thing I've crafted in PoE 2. So even though these mods are super low, I'm very happy with this item, and I don't foresee us replacing this anytime soon. So huge weapon. We're still rocking the same helm from yesterday. You know, crit, lightning, res, big armor, big life. Seems good enough. Same unique shield. You know, the chaos res really is like the thing that I need the most right now. So any item with chaos res is just the most important thing. I'll explain why later. Same amulet. And this probably needs to get upgraded pretty soon. You know, these are pretty low modifiers. You know, seven all attributes, 30 life, 10 lightning res. It's not really want to be at this stage in the game, but it's the best thing I got right now, and I do need the deck, so it's staying on. Big rings. So I started to get some big rings. I mean, 61 life, 16 int, 5 all res, 6 fire res. I can still slam some more prefixes. I don't really know what prefixes are good on rings. You know, traditionally all I really cared about in PoE 1 prefix rings were like life, unless we needed like the flat damage rolls on some of the prefixes. So not too like I'm probably gonna end up exalting this some more, but I'm not too eager to just start YOLO exalting that. But huge ring, you know, 5 all res. Yeah, more just big. Another big ring here. You know, life, some cold res. You know, it's fine. It's fine. This chest, not that compelling. It was like very like a mid upgrade over the other chests. I just needed to. The biggest reason why I switched my chest is so I could resocket the runes. My last chest had like fire runes in it, which I didn't really need. I really needed more cold res, so I just kind of upgraded I like side graded the chest. But then it ended up being an upgrade because I could specifically socket in the cold res rune. So that's that. Same gloves as yesterday. You know, really nice life, res, strength's good. Same belt, you know, life, cold res, decent belt, and same boots. So you know, these GG boots, which again are kind of getting outdated, but still, I mean, the stats on these are just so nutted. Walking through what I'm doing with the tree. So as you saw, I had a lot of damage issues experiencing you know, the arc gameplay going into yesterday, and so we had to swap some things up now with Spark. And here's the game plan. Okay, we have all these nodes. 30% increased damage with hits against shocked enemies, 30% increased damage with hits against ignited enemies, 30% increased damage with hits against shield enemies. Okay, so that's a lot of increased damage if ailments are affecting mods. And over here we just have like, you know, just generic damage. Well, over here there's some other interesting nodes, which is 12% increased damage with hits against enemies affected by elements and elements. Oh, more increased damage with hits. Oh, and we got another big node. Okay, so we're starting to think about a build which is just putting ailments on mobs, which we're doing anyway because our Hellhound is like automatically igniting mobs. So one of the things about this minion is that whenever the minion is around mobs, they're just automatically ignited. And so I'm automatically getting this, you know, modifier when my Hellhound is just next to a mob. So I'm getting value from the ignite that I previously wasn't getting value from because we are not doing anything with minions on this build. So that unlocks like a huge value upgrade out of this node. We're also just shocking things on our screen passively because of just Spark and Orb of Storms. We have some crit, and I imagine, I assume, I haven't looked into it, but I'm assuming ailments work the same, which is if I crit, they're automatically getting Spark. So, you know, I have enough crit to actually be just like passively sparking mobs. So pretty much every boss mob is getting shocked, ignited, and then for chill, I'm using Frostbomb, and Frostbomb does a really good job at applying all the chill and freeze ailments. So I'm getting all 3 ailments, you know, being affected to, you know, all these mobs, and I'm getting all this increased damage from afflicting all these ailments on these mobs. So that's kind of the idea with the build. It's all right. Like it's killing mobs. Again, the thing I'm most looking forward to about this character is going to be the survivability with this node combined with this node and just stacking a bunch of armor. So if I just stack a bunch of armor, I should be immune to elemental damage essentially because all the elements are being super mitigated by, I'm just taking a bunch of fire damage and I'm mitigating that fire damage with like my armor on top of the resistances. So I should be fine from elemental damage. And then from Fizz, I'll have a bunch of armor because my plan is to stack a bunch of armor. And then also I'm going to take 20% of Fizz as chaos. So I'm only going to be taking like 80% of Fizz damage as Fizz. So I'm probably going to be very tanky against all damage sources as long as I have max chaos, max res. And that's kind of what the game plan is today, which is getting max chaos res, because I don't really want to unlock this node until I have a substantial amount of chaos resistance, because I'm kind of scared of taking this node at 19% chaos res and having everything that hit me starts doing like chaos damage. So once I get some more chaos res on gear, which is the thing I'm really looking forward to, I think the survivability of this character will start popping off. I'll get this node, I'll work down here to get this node, and I'm pretty sure I'll just be immune to damage. And there's also the future of this character. I think I'm going to get some like this ES. I think like this ES recovery mechanic is probably going to be the future, but I'm not sure. We'll kind of get there when we get there. Could do mana stacking, I guess, too. Either works. But anyway, if you would like to see us figure out what we're up to, progress through Cruel, get to maps. We're going to be PoE 2 solo self and hardcore mapping, blind, ethical gaming. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. And if you'd like to join me today as we make progress through the campaign, you'll find me at twitch.tv/heartache. Cheers.